שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שיר לאדוני, שיר לאדוני, שיר לאדוני. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שיר לאדוני שיר חדש, שיר לאדוני כל הארץ, שיר לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני, כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסחו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, לכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר
matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is to be together on this day.
How good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
It has been a tumultuous week. National elections, a new president to be inaugurated in January, and a shifting political reality in our country. Violent attacks against Israeli soccer fans in Amsterdam on Kristallnacht, no less, causing Israel's government to warn fans in Amsterdam to stay off the streets and arrange at least 3 flights to bring Israeli citizens home. Our Israeli brothers and sisters are still in captivity. The war between Israel and Hamas, between Israel and Lebanon, between Ukraine and Russia, they grind on. So much hate, so much chaos, so much is uncertain in our country and in our world. But there is also love and community and uplift. There are babies and weddings and B'nai Mitzvah, football games and orchestra concerts, and so we persevere. As American writer Rebecca Solnit wrote, "Gather up your resources, the metaphysical ones that are heart and soul and care, as well as the practical ones. There is no alternative to persevering, and that does not require you to feel good. You can keep walking whether it's sunny or raining. Take care of yourself, and remember that taking care of something else is an important part of taking care of yourself, because you are interwoven with the 10 trillion things in this single garment of destiny that has been stained and torn, but is still being woven and mended and washed." On this Shabbat Lech Lecha, we persevere as we continue on the journey together, and we do this by welcoming the light of each other's presence as well as the light of Shabbat. And we turn to page 3 in our prayer books, our Sidurim. It's my pleasure to call up our bat mitzvah, Penelope Blunzer, as well as her mother Laurel and her grandmothers Lorraine Hawks and Mary Lee Blunzer, to offer the readings and welcome us. Welcome Shabbat with light.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As their brightness reminds us of generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. We turn now to page 24 as we sing a song of peace, welcoming the peace of Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem.
Yai lai lai, yai lai lai, lai 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 lai, lai lai, lai 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 lai, lai lai, lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, lai lai, yai lai lai lai, lai lai, yai lai lai lai, lai lai, lai 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 lai. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Baruchuni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're going to join together. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai.
We turn back to page 20 as we prepare to welcome Shabbat officially by welcoming the Sabbath bride, singing Lecha Dodi. We sing verses 1 and 2, 5 and 9, and when we reach verse 9, Ba'iva Shalom, we rise as a congregation. We turn to face the entrance of our sanctuary to welcome that Shabbos spirit, the Sabbath bride, that we experience when we sing together as one. And so whether you're joining us here in the Wolf Sanctuary or from your own sacred space, wherever that may be, join us, sing with us, make Shabbos feel real.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nekabela, Shamor v'Zachor b'Dibur Echad, Ishmiyanu El HaMeyuchad, Adonai Echad, Nushemo Echad, L'Shemo Tiferet, ולתחילה לך אדוני לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקור הברכה בראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך אדוני לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך אדוני לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך אדוני לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה
Turn to those around you, wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Let them know how glad you are they're here. We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 26 as we remain standing through the Shema.
יתקדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמד יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם וינשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמה ואמרו
We turn now to page 28 for the Baruch Hu, and it's my pleasure to welcome our bat mitzvah up, Penelope, our bat mitzvah Penelope, up to lead us in the next part of our service.
Baruch Hu es Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. We continue on page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechochma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, sader et hakohavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtsono, b'rei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tsevaot shemo. El hai vekayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. We continue in the middle of page 32. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. We continue on page 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. We continue together on page 36. Ve'avta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha Veshinantam levanecha, vedibarta bam, beshiftecha beveitecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha uvekumecha, ukshartam leot ayadecha, vehayu letotafot beineinecha, Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim lelohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeit yetchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiot lachem lelohim, ani Adonai Elohechem emet.
On the bottom of page 39, we read responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora Osei Nora Osei Adonai Melech le'olam avad. Hayam lifnei Moshe Miriam Zeini Anu ve'yamru Adonai Yimloch le'olam avad. Mi chamocha, everyone. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora Osei Nora Osei Adonai Yimloch le'olam avad. V'ne'emar kifad Adonai et Yaakov ugalo miyad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael.
Page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Ushmor tzeiteinu uvoeinu lechaim ul'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. shalom, ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim, ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim.
On page 44, we remind ourselves of our obligation to guard Shabbat joyfully as we sing the Shamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת, שבת בנפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We rise for the Amidah beginning on page 46.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu ve'Imoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניכם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. At the top of page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. On the bottom of page 57, we join together. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levarecha be'ira na'avod. On page 59, we come to our Hoda'ah section, our Thanksgiving section, and I share with you a reading from elsewhere in our prayer book, and then we'll come together for that Chatimah, that last line in Hebrew. For the gift of our souls, for the promise of our lives, for all we are and all we might yet become, for the creative seeds sown within our minds, whose nurturing can yield a grand harvest. For all these gifts we thank you, O God, and pray that we prove ourselves worthy. May our lives be ripe with the fruit of compassion, sweetly sustaining those in need. May we use our gifts wisely and with love, true messengers of blessing to the world. Together, Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. Page 60, Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. אתה הוא מלך אדון. לכל השלום, שלום רב, שלום רב, על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב, על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם. ברוך אתה אדוני, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
Having prayed for peace in our world, we think of those who face the future not fully whole, those who are in our service supplement, and those who are in our hearts. We take a moment now and whisper their names out loud. We join together singing Misha Barach, page 253.
מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Amen. It is our tradition in this congregation to say a prayer for our country on the Shabbat closest to the election, following the election, so that we may recognize the strengths of our democracy. So I invite you to rise and join with me on the bottom of page 258. 258. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
You may be seated. This coming Monday, we will observe Veterans Day, a solemn time when we honor all who have served our country and those who are active duty. Whether in times of war or times of relative calm, to join the military takes courage, perseverance, and faith. In our own community, we have career military and those who have served for a relatively short time. We have those who have been deployed multiple times, and those who may never have left the United States, but have moved around the country as required. We honor you all and ask our military who are here this evening, both retired and active, to please rise once more and stand as I offer this blessing written by Rabbi Larry Milder. Compassionate God, source of mercy, we pay tribute to those who have served our country and express our gratitude for their courage and selflessness, both those among us today and those of generations past. This nation, built by those born of this soil and those who have come here from all corners of the earth, is on a continual journey towards its destiny. May we never let down those who have served in defense of this country. May we uphold the values of freedom, of the inherent dignity of every human being, by our own right conduct, by the kindness and tolerance we show to one another. May we lead the world by example and become, in the words of Isaiah, a light to the nations. Then will the labors and sacrifices of these veterans be honored not in words alone, but by our deeds. Amen. And thank you for your service. But stand again, because we're now going to share in our prayer for peace between Israel and its neighbors, especially all the more so this week, as we just observed Kristallnacht last night, and as I mentioned at the beginning of our service, Israeli brothers and sisters in Amsterdam for a soccer match being attacked. We stand in solidarity with our fellow Jews. Join with me. It's in your service supplement, sorry. Here. Rock and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, the dawning of our redemption. Shield it with your compassion and spread over it the sukkah of your shalom. Compel its leaders to act for the good of all who dwell in your holy land. Grant them sound minds, courageous hearts, and compassionate souls as they navigate the treacherous terrain of conflict and terror, war and destruction. Freer of the captives and binder of their wounds, be with those who remain in captivity and console their families. Give them strength to endure and speedily send them home. May the image of their faces remain in our hearts. Master of compassion, bring security and peace to all those who are vulnerable. Comfort all who are displaced and suffering. Protect the innocent wherever they may be, in Israel, in Gaza, in Lebanon, in Yemen. May we never lose sight of their humanity and the spark of God's presence in us all. Holy One of blessing, may the leaders of the world put their people before power and reach for compromise before conflict. Uproot the hatred, animosity, and distrust of all those who would do harm and replace them with love and kinship, so that all the peoples who dwell in your holy land find safety and sustenance, quiet and contentment, and an abundance of everlasting peace. Amen.
Amen. We continue with Achenu. Achenu kol beit Yisrael. Achenu kol beit Yisrael. Hanetunim betzara, betzara uvashivya, haomdim ben bayam uvein bayabasham. Hamakom yerachem, yerachem aleichem, veyoshiyeh mitzara, lirvacha, umeyafel aleora, umeshibu ligula hashta, bagala uvizmana kariv, hashta bagala uvizmana kariv. We
Amen.
continue together. As for our brothers and sisters, the whole house of Israel, who are given over to trouble or captivity,
whether they abide on the sea or on the dry land. May the All-Present have mercy upon them and bring them forth from trouble to enlargement, from darkness to light, and from subjection to redemption, now speedily and at a near time. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. We take a few moments now for our own silent prayers.
Coming out of the silence, we join together in a prayer for peace, Oseh Shalom, which can be found in the middle of page 62. Oseh Shalom, Bimramav, Oseh Shalom, Bimramav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.
2 weeks ago, the island of Cuba experienced a nationwide blackout as its electric grid collapsed. This wouldn't have been news I paid significant attention to, except for the fact that I was about to leave for a week-long mission there with about 25 other Reform rabbis. I received a series of concerned and well-meaning texts from an array of family, friends, and congregants who were also suddenly focused on Cuba, especially after a hurricane hit too. So I reached out to our tour leader to find out if we had any contingency plans. "That's Cuba in a nutshell," he responded. "Better bring a flashlight and a spare towel and some tissues and hand sanitizer for the bathrooms, and bring cash, small bills. They will not accept American credit cards." The story of Cuba is long and complicated. It was inhabited as early as the 4th century by indigenous tribes, was colonized by the Spanish explorers in the 15th century, until the Spanish-American War of 1898, when it was occupied by the US. It gained independence in 1902, implemented a new constitution in 1940, but experienced turmoil and political unrest, which culminated in the 1952 Cuban coup d'etat and the subsequent dictatorship of Fulgencio Batista, who was then overthrown in 1959 during the Cuban Revolution. That revolution established communist rule under the leadership of Fidel Castro, who retired in 2008 after 48 years as Cuba's leader, dictator. He was succeeded by his brother, Raul Castro, until he retired, and Miguel Diaz-Canel was elected. And throughout this history, Jews made Cuba their home, immigrating from different parts of the world for different reasons. In the 16th and 17th centuries, Jews immigrated from Brazil to escape persecution under Portuguese rule and the Inquisition. In the 1920s, Jewish immigrants from Eastern Europe and Turkey came after it became harder to immigrate to the US. And in the 1930s, they came fleeing from the Nazis. Many of these Jewish people built businesses and were quite successful and wealthy. Yet the vast majority of Jewish Cubans left after the revolution, when they lost their property and religion in general was outlawed by the communist regime. By the 1990s, religion was once again permitted, but today the Jewish population of Cuba is small, with fewer than 1,000 people living on the island, and it's supported by organizations like the Joint Distribution Committee, B'nai B'rith, and Cuban American Jews. There's much more history, including its complicated relationship with the United States that spans over 60 years. But what I want to reflect on this evening has more to do with the resilience of the Cuban people, the importance of being able to understand complicated and often conflicting narratives, and the value of embarking on a journey, even if it's an uncomfortable one. Our group landed in Santa Clara on a Sunday afternoon and went directly to visit the small Santa Clara Jewish community, which now consists of about 25 people, whose ancestors arrived mostly from Turkey in the 1920s. They proudly told us of their story, showed us their Ark and Torahs, but explained that since they didn't have a rabbi, it hadn't been read from in many years. Well, now there was a room full of rabbis. So a few jumped up and opened the Ark. We shared in the blessings, chanted the opening verses of Bereshit, which most of us knew by heart, and then we started singing. With the help of our guide, I asked one of the leaders, "What Jewish songs do you know?" And she shyly sang, Oseh Shalom Bimromav. Hey everyone, they know Oseh Shalom by Hirsch, I yelled. So we all began to sing that. Suddenly their eyes lit up and everyone was arm in arm as we sang a song of peace together. We visited two other congregations, both in Havana, Patronato, Beth Shalom, and the Sephardic Center. At each of these synagogues, we met with community leaders, heard their stories, sang songs, and delivered our gifts and aid. To visit Cuba, especially as an American citizen, is to travel to another dimension. It is green and lush. It is surrounded by the ocean. There are cafes and restaurants, art galleries, and its classic architecture is beautiful and painted with vibrant colors. But the lives of most Cubans are hard. They make very little money. Embargoes make basic items like food, electronics, and cars extremely expensive and hard to come by. There are often rolling blackouts and hurricanes, and it is costly and time-consuming to get a travel visa to leave the island. But at the same time, healthcare is localized and free. Schools are too, as well as extracurricular activities. We visited a wonderful music school and a Cuban Little League baseball practice. People display a deep pride in their culture, and they are warm and welcoming and committed to their home. The Jewish people we met told us there is no anti-Semitism at all. And while their resources are limited, their communities are close and connected to each other. I was really taken by their resilience. Their lives are hard, but they are not suffering in the ways we might imagine. They have so much less than we do, but they invest in music and dance, art, sports, technology, and science. My entire life, I have understood that Cuba was a communist stronghold with a glamorous past, a country not to be trusted because of its relationship with the then Soviet Union and now Russia. And while that might be true, it's also clear that communism and socialism, while deeply flawed political systems, have benefits, just like capitalism has flaws and benefits. As was explained to me by the young driver of the bright pink 1950s convertible that I had the privilege of riding in on our last night in Havana, all political systems are perfect on paper, but we as people are flawed, and so all the systems are flawed too. The chance to travel is a gift, not only because it's fun or interesting to visit new places, but because when we leave our homes and our comfort zones, when we get to observe how different people and different cultures see the world, we get to think about our own lives and culture in a different way too. In this week's Torah portion, Lech Lecha, Avram is called by God to leave his homeland. This, of course, is the beginning of the official Jewish story and the beginning of the Jewish journey. The words Lech Lecha make up an odd construction. Lech is a Hebrew command which means go. Lecha also means go, but with the addition of the cha at the end, it could be translated as you go, or as Rashi translates, go or journey for yourself. Rashi continues, it means go for your own benefit, for your own good. Like Avram, it's when we go, when we step outside of our comfort zones, try new things, allow ourselves to be a little bit inconvenienced or uncomfortable, that we learn the most. My experience in Cuba was fascinating and inspiring, and well worth the little inconveniences we encountered along the way. I gained a new appreciation for another country and its people. I recognized how much I take my own privilege and the strength and vitality of our Jewish community for granted. And I gained a deeper understanding of the value of the journey, wherever it may take me. It's why I want to keep traveling and planning trips for our congregation to take together, for the community we build, for the experiences we share, and for the widening of our worldview that we bring back with us. Wherever we travel, we are guaranteed to see our own lives and our own Judaism through a different lens, having witnessed the lives of others. Shabbat Shalom.
We continue with Aleinu, page 283. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וכוח עלינו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. As Kristallnacht happened on November 9th and 10th, we are still in that moment thinking about how The Holocaust, the Shoah, really started with that night of Kristallnacht. And as we remember all of those and those who are in our community, we look at our memorial meditation on page 292. A meditation written by Rabbis Chaim Stern and Henry Cohen. We have lived in numberless towns and villages, and in too many of them we have endured cruel suffering. Some we have forgotten, others are sealed in our memory, a wound that does not heal. 100 generations of victims and martyrs, still their blood cries out from the earth. And so many at Dachau, at Buchenwald, at Babi Yar. What can we say? What can we do? How bear the unbearable or accept what life has brought to our people? All who are born must die, but how shall we compare the slow passage of time with the callous slaughter of the innocent cut off before their time? They lived with faith, not all, but many, and surely many died with faith in God, in life, in the goodness that even flames cannot destroy. May we find a way to the strength of that faith, that trust, that sure sense that life and soul endure beyond this body's death. They have left their lives to us. Let a million prayers rise whenever Jews worship. Let a million candles glow against the darkness of these unfinished lives. Our thoughts turn to those who are in our community and extended community who have died at this time in years past. As we mark their yard sites, we remember them. Jeanette Aftergut, Ralph Peter Appel, Louis Alstafo, Deborah Moss Barron, Ann Bendiner, Milton Max Burgle, Sherry Geller Berman, Dr. Sheldon Braverman, Max Carduner, Betty Clark, Greg Cole, Golda Davis, Leonard Edelman, Solomon Epstein, Albert Franco, Laura B. Garrison, Sylvia Garza, Claire Golden, Philip Goldstein, Esperanza Hope Gonzalez, Edward Gordon, Joe Greens, Dr. Haskell Gruber, James Harris, Edwin Hankin, Harry Himmelfarb, Mary Hinojosa, Ronald Hurwitz, Freda Stern Jackson, Rabbi David Jacobson, Malcolm Kasanoff, Hiram Kaufman, Karen Kaufman, Bessie Kleinsmith, Nathan Capel, Faggy Coopersmith, Bessie Landau, Henrietta Levine, Annette Lillian, Delphina M. Meyer, Aaron L. Mintz, Toby Nathan, Julia Judy Neely, Sandra Wheeler Owens, Milton Petlin, Madeline Goldman Pincus, Marion Podorf, Carter Price, Sid Rafkin, Chuck Ramirez, Jerry Reich, Arthur Rotblatt, Edward Salazar, David Salzman, Leonard Seidner, Mildred Shanfield, Benita Sobel, Barbara Bobby Stern, Charles Vivier, Simon Wallach, Dr. Bernard Wiener, and David Westheimer. To these names, we add the names of those who've been laid to their eternal rest in the past 30 days, whose family and friends are in a mourning period of Shloshim. We remember Karen Palins, William Bill J. Munter, Joan Baskin, Dr. Carl M. Pfeiffer, and Howard J. Reich. With all of these names, we add those which are in our hearts each and every day as we turn to Kaddish Yatom on page 294 and rise together as one community. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'yizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam ulmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, u'ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world, to which we say, Amen. You may be seated. It is my honor to call forward Mark Eichelbaum, President of our Board of Trustees, to deliver tonight's announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. I'm glad you could join us here in the Wolf Sanctuary or from your own sacred space. Thank you to our pre-Shabbat Oneg sponsors, including the Eisenberg family, the Always family, the Rodriguez-Esparza family, and the Weissman family. This year's class is honoring each other, which is very cool. Thank you, Lorene Hawks, Mary Lee Blunser, and Laurel Blunser for lighting our Shabbat candles this evening. And Mazel Tov to your entire family on Penelope's Bat Mitzvah. And thank you, Betty, for helping us welcome each other this evening as our greeter. Here are some upcoming events at Temple and things to know. Our next family-friendly Shabbat is happening tomorrow at November 9th, beginning at 9 a.m. Come for Shabbat service, story time, breakfast, and a craft. PJ Library, so it's going to be one for the books. As part of our Mitzvah Month events, I don't write them, but please consider helping with our Adopt a Family project. There's a gift list link in the temple announcements, and we will have a wrapping party and dinner on Tuesday, December 10th. But before that, join Brotherhood on Thursday, December 5th at 6:30 for the 4th annual poker tournament series. It's open to everyone, members and non-members alike, regardless of gender. So come have some fun as we shuffle camaraderie with a little competition. That one I wrote. And don't forget about our upcoming 150th anniversary celebration event of Hanukkah in the Hill Country on Sunday, December 8th, beginning at 11:30 a.m. at the Rainbow Events Center. There will be live music, a barbecue food truck, kiddie corrals, trampolines, and more. Also, save the date and register for Cantor Ettinger's Installation Weekend. On Friday, December 13th, come for services featuring our Kol Simcha Choir, Temple Beth-El Band, and some very special guest cantors. Services will be followed by a congregational soul food dinner. And then on Saturday, December 14th, join us for a Songs of the Soul concert featuring acclaimed cantors from across the nation. More information and registration links for these and other exciting things can be found on our website or in the weekly announcements, which arrive in your inbox around 4 p.m. every Thursday. We look forward to your participation in these community building opportunities. Shabbat Shalom.
Our closing song in honor of our Parsha, Lech Lecha, is Lechi Lach, which you can find on page 341. Please rise.
Lechi Lach, to a land that I will show you. Lech Lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi Lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing. Lechi Lach. Lechi Lach, and
shall make your name great. Lech Lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lechi lach.
Be a blessing. Shabbat Shalom.